I'm Neil from Board Game Happy, and thank you very much for watching this video. This is a quick preview of a new game coming to Kickstarter on the 17th of April called Pioneer Rails from Dranda Games. I am very lucky and privileged to be sent the print and play files just so that I can have a little look at it, and I've been playing around with it this week and I wanted you to hear what I have to think. I'm really enjoying it, so that's a little bit of a spoiler for what's going on. So I'll briefly show you how it plays. I'm not going to give you a full overview, but I'll give you quite a good idea as to how the game plays. And then we'll come back up and I'll tell you my final thoughts. Okay, cheers.
Okay, so this is Pioneer Rails. What we have here is we have some objective cards. There are 3 different types. So you will shuffle these, randomly choose one from each pile. These are shared objectives. All players are trying to reach these first. So the first person, for example, this one is to dig 2 tunnels through 2 different mountain ranges. First person to do it will get 10 points. All other players who achieve that will receive 5 points. So just keep these to one side for now. So we're all trying to achieve that. What we have here is we have our deck of poker cards. Numbers 10, Jack, Queen, King and Ace in all 4 suits. So we will shuffle these. One player becomes the start player and they will turn over 3 cards from the top of the deck. That start player will choose one of these cards. So let's say, for example, they take the Queen of Hearts. They can then deal with that in a second. All other players, they don't take these, but what they can do is they can choose from these 2. So all other players, players number 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., will choose one of these 2 cards and they will all use it. So how do you use the cards? The first thing you're going to do when you take a card is you're going to start building your poker hand down here. So in the first round, as you can see, there's 5 turns and then 5 turns in the second round, third and fourth. So you're going to have 20 turns in total. So we've taken a queen. The heart doesn't matter at all for this moment. All we need to worry about is our poker hand. So we've taken a queen. So we would write down a queen there. So that indicates we've taken a queen this round. Now, the reason why the heart matters is we then need to find that station on the map. That station there. So we are now allowed to draw 3 lines coming away from the heart station. Now, you can do 3 individual lines if you want. I mean, that wouldn't be a great idea. Or you can do 3 continuous lines. Or you could do 2 lines there and then 1 line there. You can also add to previous heart lines. So if you had that previously done, you could add another 3 to that as an example. So you'll draw your 3 lines. So let's say we do this. Then any of these special areas that are marked up on the map, each time you draw a new line equivalent to the number that's written on it. So this one, this is the gold mine, only requires 1 train line next to it. As soon as you do that, you can cross off the gold and circle this one up here. Some of the different things they require, for example, the fort requires 4 lines next to it, tavern requires 2, the bank requires 3. The cows are quite a bit different because what you have to do with the cows is you'll see there are cows and cattle all over the map. You need to separate the cows and cattle by either, for example, this cow here would be separated because it's got the edge of the map, railroad and mountains. So then you would cross off that one and circle there. So that's a very basic example of how a go would proceed. The starting player would then become the next player, who would turn over the next 3 cards. They would take one of these cards. So let's say, for example, they take that one. Then all other players would have a choice of these 2. You're going to keep on doing that until you get to 5 cards done. You will then score for your poker hand. 2 of a kind will give you 1 point. 2 pairs will give you 2 points. 3 of a kind will give you 3 points. A full house, be that a pair and 3 of a kind, would give you 4 points. A run, doesn't matter about the suit, but a run would give you 5 points, and 4 of a kind would give you 6 points. Now, if you manage to get one of these taverns here, when you activate that, you circle one of these current round or future round bonuses. So if I manage to get a run, So that'd be 5 points normally. If I manage to circle that, it would be 10 points. I'll briefly explain how all of the different scoring works. So for the gold mine, you circle as you activate each one. They're worth 1 point at the end of the game. When you manage to activate a bank, you can move up to 4 of your previously circled golds into the bank and you get the multiplier. So in the first bank you unlock, you would get 1 times, then 2 times, then 3 times. So if you had 4 in there, that'd be a nice 12 points in that third one. And you get accumulation of all your points in there. With the forts, you circle as you unlock them and you get the points for the furthest along the track you are. So if you've only unlocked the first one, you get 4 points. For all 3, you get 24 points. For the cows, you get the points. Each time you separate a cattle, you will circle one of these, going from the top left onwards, and you get the points according to how far you've got. So for doing all of them, it'll be worth 40 points. For these railroads, you circle, once you've unlocked one of these, you circle the first one, then the second one, then the third as you proceed. You then get, at the end of the game, you get the multiplier, which if you got all of them would be times 7, times by the amount of towns visited in your largest network. A network would be if you went from this station to say that town, and that town, that would be a network of 3. If, however, you manage to get this station here connected to that town as well, keep in mind that when you connect towns, that's the only place in which 2 lines can connect. That would join that network. So it would be the 3 for there, plus any towns connected to this network. Each town that you get to is worth 1 point at the end of the game. And you'll notice there's 1 town unlocked straight away at the beginning. On your turn, you may cross out a current town, and that will give you the ability to build a bridge over the water, a tunnel through mountains, change the suit, do a shortcut, and a shortcut looks like that, straight across, rather than having to go all the way around. The shortcut would just say if you'd already built there, you could go straight across there and then carry on. So that's what a shortcut looks like. And finally, using the towns is the only way you can do a fork in the line. In addition, whenever you use a town, you also get to draw an additional line, so 4 lines. So that's basically how the game plays. You will play over 4 rounds, adding up your poker hands each round, and then at the end of the game you'll get the accumulation of all your poker hands, all of the points you have from here, and the points for your objective tasks. The player with the most points will win. A couple of quick rules about where you can and can't draw your lines. So if I was here, I wouldn't be able to just go across here without using one of my towns. You have to use a town to get across the water. If I manage to use a town to get across the water to there, as soon as you touch a town, you have to stop that particular part of the line. You can no longer draw through the town. You could, of course, meet up later on like that. That's the only time that 2 stations are allowed to join at the same point. If, for example, you went along here, this line could not touch here. You could go around it, of course. I mean, you wouldn't want to because you're going to be blocking that off from moving later on, but you can't connect to the same bit. So you can't, for example, do that. That is not allowed. Other things to explain. Going through the mountain is quite simple. If, so, for example, I'm there, I pay 1 town and I just draw a straight line through the mountain and then I can carry on from there. Doing a fork is just literally just doing that and then carrying on. When you draw your lines, you may, if you've got, for example, a heart card, you could do 1, 2 there and then 1 there. That's perfectly acceptable after you've unlocked the tunnel and the fork. So I think that's all of the different placement rules you need to know about.
Well, I hope that overview gave you a good feel for the game. Just want to briefly tell you some of the things I really like about the game so far. First thing is building that poker hand. Really enjoy drafting those cards. A little bit hate drafting when you're playing multiplayer, especially if you're not too worried about a card, but you know someone else really needs an ace. Taking that ace is absolutely glorious. But building that poker hand, trying to marry up the need to score well there, but also to get the suits that you need for building the right train tracks. Really, really clever. Really like that. I love how intuitive the game is. Now, this feels like a game that has been designed specifically for me. One that is fairly easy to teach, quite easy to get people set up and going, but there's a lot more going on than you realise. There's loads of ways of scoring points. You can use your bonuses for your towns at the most appropriate time, the best time to score really big, nab that objective score just before somebody else does. Like I say, trying to separate the cattle from each other, trying to collect the gold nuggets and drop them off at the bank, trying to surround the fort, trying to do all of the different things that you're trying to do feels absolutely fantastic in a game that plays in about 20 minutes, which is absolutely brilliant. And you will, the second you finish, will just shuffle up and start again because it is that much fun. When I first saw the map, I was a bit like, wow, this looks like there's an awful lot going on here. But as soon as you start playing, it's so easy. You just, okay, I'm going to draft that card, start my poker hand or continue my poker hand, and then draw some new train lines from that particular suit. It works absolutely brilliantly. I like the solo mode, plays very similar to the multiplayer mode. Very few changes are needed. And there are different difficulties, levels of difficulty you can play with. So once again, that's another big tick for me. So I've really enjoyed this game. I would like to thank Dranda Games for sending me the print and play files. I really appreciate it. And I will definitely be back on the 17th of April when this comes to Kickstarter. So once again, thanks for watching my video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions or comments, please fire them over. If you want to talk to me on the socials, I'm on Instagram and on Twitter at BoardGameHappy, and always happy to have a chat about any games that you like and would like me to do reviews for. So anyway, thank you very much. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Otherwise, I will see you again on the next one. Many thanks.